Hey guys, welcome back to whatever this is, and today we are going to talk about some mangas that I think just kind of fell to the wayside. So guys, on today's episode, I want to take it a little easy as I have a lot of plans for next month. And I want to talk about some mangas that I feel that nobody talks about. They're kind of obscure nowadays. And I thought it'd be a little fun just to discuss them real quick. And hey, maybe you're introduced to a new manga that you never thought you'd like to read. Or hey, leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think at the same time. So let's start with one that a lot more people are familiar with. We're going to start with Yugioh R. And with Yugioh R, it is kind of an in-between story trying to explain what happened to Maximilian Pegasus, Industrial Illusions, after the events of the island. Which was like the first major arc in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was okay. It was a solid attempt at trying to take a plot hole that a lot of people kind of plucked apart and trying to make a story based around that. I thought for the most part it did its job. It did explain a lot of little things that needed to be done, but the execution was something to be desired. The best thing that actually came out of this, which is one of my favorite things, was that Yugi actually duels an old lady in a wheelchair. As she was taking care of her grandkids, she picked up duel monsters, and now she has her wheelchair equipped with a dual disc. It's amazing. I love that so much, and I wish a character like that would show up more, because she really gave Yugi a run for her money in the manga, and I kind of wish that they would bring that back in Subway. It was just such a fun character concept, and she was just a sweet old lady, but she will wreck you in Duel Monsters. Don't mess with her. Loved it. And that's kind of all this was. It was a neat little story to bring these characters back, and I kind of wish that maybe they did a bit more with it. But for what it is, it's a nice light read. It's an in-between story to the overarching story of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Story. Now, speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh!, one of my personal favorite mangas that I see nobody talk about because not a lot of people liked the sequel series, which was Yugioh GX. Yugioh GX was one of my personal favorite protagonists. Jaden Yuki is a great character. And in this manga, he's a much different character, which I really appreciate. As the manga artist, and he was also the story writer, he kind of had his own interpretation on what Yu-Gi-Oh! GX should be and its themes. And it was all about creating your own path, creating your own deck. And that was a theme throughout GX. And I really, really liked it. I love the elemental heroes that were created in here. And they even created a new type of hero for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which was the Masked Heroes, which were just based off of Kamen Rider, which was really awesome because each series of heroes were based off another theme of heroes, which was really, really awesome. And I really liked where the story went. It unfortunately got cut a little short, but it is a complete story. You're not missing anything. It's just got cut a little short because the series was coming to an end, and they clearly just needed to end it. So it kind of jumps around a little bit at the end, but overall it kind of sticks with the theme that it was going for, which I really, really liked, and I wish more people would read it. I only know one other person who's actually read it, so she is the only person I can ever actually talk to her about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, especially the manga, which is a shame. I really wish this one was animated. It's really that good. Now, the last manga I'm going to talk about was actually a manga I found through a fan subbing network that I used to follow when I was in my earlier anime days, and anime was a little trickier to get a hold of around that time. This is before Crunchyroll came out, so really whatever subtitle groups you followed, that was what you had access to. And in this case, there was an OVA based around a manga series called Bus Gamer. This series I really liked. Its concept was kind of cute. It was based around gangs of 3 that were hired by companies, you never knew who you worked for, who would have these gangs of 3 fight each other, no holds bar battles, but they would all be protecting a mini disc worth of data, because this was made in 1999 and mini discs were king. And they would fight, one would win, one would lose obviously, they would take the mini disc of the other team. This was all monitored through cameras, and they would determine who the winner was through that. So it was some underground company gambling ring, but instead of gambling money, they gambled information. It was a neat premise. Just as it feels like this is really going to get rolling and start unfolding, they introduced the police officer for the series, who would be obviously unraveling this case. They really started to flesh out the backgrounds of these characters. It just stops. It's really unfortunate. Even in the OVAs, they weren't able to add anything new. They literally just took what was in the pages here. They just took what was here, and that was it. Which is a little unfortunate. But at this point, I know it's not coming back. This was written in 99 to 2001. We're in 2020 now. This series is done. It's gone. The creator said he always wanted it to come back. I really don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, this was one I really enjoyed reading when I was first getting into manga, and it holds that special place of being kind of one of the really original ones that I read that you're just like, wow, that's just done. That's unfortunate. But cool concept. Check it out. So each of these mangas are ones I would say are worth checking out, even if just for curiosity's sake. If you want one that has a complete full story, I would recommend Yugioh GX. As it's 9 volumes, that's the whole story, and it's really, really enjoyable. There was a lot of execution that was really well thought out that paid off in the story, which, so good to see that, because this could have just been a cheap cash-in based off a franchise, and just nothing of quality really came out of it. But no, this was far higher quality than even I think at the time Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was really getting, which was phenomenal. Because even the writer who was writing it was a little upset that they wouldn't let him continue the manga. He had to end it. And on a side note, his art in particular is really, really good. I loved his interpretation of a lot of the characters, as he took what was obviously made by the show and had to work something with it. And he does just excellent work. I would say this is still one of the mangas that I just really appreciate the art to this day. Like, just the quality of the time it came out. This was really high quality art. He is a phenomenal artist. I am not even going to attempt that name, but there's his name. He is fantastic. I wish he got more screen time I wish he got more time really to flesh out his version of these characters, as its complete unique take on what Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was. And for Bus Gamer, it's really funny to kind of really look at this art, just because so much of the art is dated. And I mean dated in the sense that it's all security cameras, it's mini discs. So to me, it's really nostalgic. It might not be the greatest art, but I still love it to this day. You get these really nice drawings of the characters and everything in it. When they did the adaptation to the OVAs, they did a really solid job of just taking these manga scenes and making sure they were right, which is really impressive to the anime studio that actually did them. So okay, guys, hope you enjoyed yourself this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can. That would be fantastic. Help the channel grow. Alright, so take care. Have a good one.